Hi guys, we're going to be talking a little bit today about the water cycle. And you'll notice as we talk about the water cycle, you'll notice some similarities between the experiments we did 2 weeks ago with the 3 states of matter. Let's remember what those were. Solids, liquids, and gases. All right? And as we talk about the water cycle today, we're going to look at some slides and a little story about the water cycle. And we'll point out where we see those solids, liquids, and gases as we go. All right, I hope you like it. Here we go. The water cycle. Water is constantly moving from the earth to the clouds and back to the earth again. This process is called the water cycle. Okay, in this picture you see the ocean or a lake and a stream coming from the mountains, some rain coming from the clouds, snow coming from the clouds. And these little squiggly lines here by the sun are the water going back up into the sky, and we'll talk about that in a second. Evaporation. All right, in this picture you see the sun shining so brightly, you see a pond, and then you see these squiggly lines. That is water vapor. The sun warms the water on the earth. The water changes into a gas called water vapor during evaporation. So the water is which state of matter? Liquid, exactly. Water vapor is what state of matter? Gas. Very good. Excellent job, kindergarten. You are very, very smart. Condensation. So up here we have a big cloud, and we have the water vapor rising. The water vapor rises high into the air and begins to cool. As it cools, it changes from a gas back into a liquid during a process called condensation. During condensation, tiny water droplets form in the air and come together as clouds. Sometimes the water in the cloud become too heavy for the air to hold and fall back to the earth as precipitation. Here are different forms of precipitation. We have rain, snow, sleet, and hail. Well, when do we see these forms of precipitation? In the spring and summertime, when the air is warmer, when water droplets fall back down from the clouds, they come down in liquid form. They come down as rain. In colder months like December and January and February, the air is very cold outside. So when those droplets come back down as precipitation, they don't come down as rain, they come down as snow. Sometimes in months like November or in the very beginning of spring, when the air is cooler but not totally frozen, you might see sleet, which is a combination of snow and rain. And here's where the solid part of the water cycle comes in. Sometimes we get water droplets that fall back down from the earth that are super cooled, and they fall down to the earth as hail. Hail is little tiny balls of ice that fall from the sky. We saw some of those at the very beginning of spring during a storm. So that is where you see all 3 states of matter in the water cycle. The water, like oceans, rivers, and lakes, is the liquid. The condensed air that evaporates from those water sources is the gas, and if hail falls from the sky, that's where you see the solid. Okay, precipitation can be in the form of rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Some precipitation will return as runoff and is stored in oceans, lakes, rivers, and ponds. However, some of the water will soak into the soil as groundwater. So as that rain falls down, some of it is collected again in the rivers and lakes and oceans. Some of it falls into the ground and gets soaked in by the ground, but the water always finds a place to go. Okay, those are the options it has once it gets to the ground. Finally, the sun comes out, warms the water, and the water cycle begins again. It never stops. This cycle continues over and over and over again. If you look at the picture, like we saw in the beginning, you see the ocean, the water evaporating. Here is rain and snow coming down. Here's a stream with runoff into the ocean. Here it's being soaked into the ground. And this cycle continues over and over and over again. And that's the water cycle. Okay, a lot of similarities between the three states of matter, and when we did the Ziploc baggie in the window experiment, you were able to see how water changed into a gas and condensation formed on the inside of the bag, right? Not so hard, not so tricky. And I put a lot of materials inside your packet for the water cycle to kind of explain it again. So if you have any questions while you're working, you can refer back to those. And of course, if you have a question that those do not answer, I'm always here to help you. Have mom or dad send me a message on Remind or an email, and I will be here to fix it. All right? Have a wonderful day today. Enjoy the water cycle, and I'll see you guys again soon.